right, guys, this is kind of like a half week what sold video. I'm filming this on Wednesday morning. I'm filming it early because I am leaving for vacation tomorrow. So if you guys haven't been here in the past, me and my husband are going on a hiking vacation. So I'm going to share with you what sold for me since Friday the 13th. Kind of spooky. And kind of just let you know. Heads up, my sales week was pretty horrible so far. So about ready to jump off my deck. No, I'm just kidding. But it's kind of depressing. So I don't know if we're like hitting into summer slowdown because they've been great before that. I get eyebrow sweat. Does anybody else like sweat on their eyebrows? Or am I the only weird one? Anyway, yeah, they've been bad. So let me know down below. Are you experiencing summer slowdown? I feel like that's what it is. I don't know. I mean, I'm listing all the same stuff. I'm getting good items. I'm listing 18 a day. So I think it's just people are outside doing stuff and they're not shopping online as much. I'm going to be finishing my protein shake while we're talking, so I hope you guys don't mind. I'm trying to do a million things today before we go out of town. I just went to the store. I had to pack. I'm going to play pickleball tonight. My daughter wants to see me before I go to town, so I got to meet up with her at Panera. I have 2 YouTube haul videos to film. So anyway, make sure you guys come back for the other videos. If you haven't yet subscribed, please consider doing so. I am trying to reach 7,000 subscribers. Only one sale on Depop this week, but it was a good one. So I've never heard of this brand before. It's the brand Spin Doctor, and it was sold at Hot Topic. This sold for $72.20 extremely quickly, I think in one day. And you can kind of see why. So this goth type style is very popular. It had like corset little lace up things all over, ruffles, lace. Here's what the tag looked like. So you can be on the lookout for that. I found this at my Council Bluffs Goodwill, which was great. And then that was the model photo. So that was an amazing sale. It was getting attention on all of the platforms right away. So, and yeah, it did sell on Depop. Nothing on my Mercari. My Mercari's been like dead. Do you guys make any kind of regular sales in Mercari? If you make like more than 5 a week, comment down below. Tell us what you're selling. Tell us how much you're selling for, and let us know if you do free shipping. I've experimented around with that, and I don't know. Okay, let's go into Poshmark. This is an Anthropologie cardigan that sold for $22. This was from the sub-brand Meadow Rue, which I think is an older sub-brand. I don't know if they sell it there anymore. It was also new with tags. It had a little tiny hole by the shoulder. And guess whose fault that was, guys? Mine. Because I took out the price tag and I didn't cut it. And on some materials or like items, you can do that. And it won't leave a hole, but not that one. So, you know, my bad. Next up is a pair of Nike Air Max shoes. These sold for $19. These were actually, when I first got them, I didn't check the size. I assumed they were women's, but they were actually a youth size. They were youth size 7. I did put women's size 8.5 because women's converts, you know, from a youth. But they did sit for a while, so that possibly could have been why. So a $19 sale there. Next up were a pair of men's Prana pants that sold for $20. These were in a size 36. They were the Zion convertible pants. So when hiking pants are convertible, which means that they can zip off into shorts, you do want to put that in your title because people will search that. Next up was an Alley Miles top that sold for $26. I love selling this brand. It's one of my classic like bread and butter type brands. I just assumed the size based on measurements since it was cut off there. And I just tell people that. So artsy, usually floral. This one's oversized. Got this interesting hemline here. So that was a quick sale. Next up are these Allbirds. I know that people don't really talk about Allbirds anymore because they're not really worth it to sell. At least I feel like in the sneakers. I have a pair of these knit ballet flats and they're really comfortable. And so I picked them up. They did sell for $17, which isn't a ton. I think I paid $6 for them. So maybe these do a little bit better than the sneakers. They're not like as oversaturated. Next up was a pair of Blondo boots that sold for $25. These are in a size 10, black leather buckle type boots. I was hoping to get more for these, but these have sat for quite a while. And then I ended up sending out 30% off of bundle offers on Poshmark the other day, just trying to get something going. It did produce a few sales. So I just went and added likes to bundles from my previous 1,000 shoppers. And then I sent out 30% off offers to all of them. and I maybe got like 5 sales. But I am constantly like not running sales in my closet, but I'll do, oh, and speaking of, I usually do a big sale before I go on vacation. I usually do a BOGO sale. And I totally forgot to do that because that always makes me good money. Maybe I'll do my BOGO sale when I get back. So if you guys want to go through my closet when I'm gone, I'm coming back on, I think, Friday the 27th. And maybe I'll do a BOGO sale that weekend or like the beginning of the next week. I usually like to do it around vacation because it always makes me really good money, and then it kind of helps me recoup from like vacation expenses. Shoot, I've been so busy. I just realized I forgot that. Anyway, it produced only about 5 sales for me this time. But that's better than nothing. I sold these Brooks shoes for $21. These were a women's size 9, purple ghost, 14. Some Brooks can do better than others. There's just certain styles that seem to be more desirable. These ones weren't as desirable, so I still listed them. I mean, I think I listed them for $30. Next up, a pair of Bionic shoes that sold for $18. These were in a size 11, so a larger women's size. They were called the Cody slip-on shoes. I sold these same exact ones, I think, in a silver or gray. Those ones sold a little bit faster. So these ones had like a little bit of signs of wear, but not horrible. Next up are a pair of Abercrombie & Fitch shorts. They only sold for $15, guys, and they were new with tags. So that kind of sucks. I don't know if this is like this for everyone. It was the mom short, Curve Love. I feel like the mom short is not in the mom jeans. I've had better luck with Abercrombie with the dad style, but even still, like these are also a plus size. Maybe that's not as popular for Abercrombie. I don't know. Either way, whatever. This was an Ibex hoodie that sold for my full asking price of $35, which I am glad. I did list it lower than I normally would have because it was missing drawstrings that it was supposed to have in this hood. Here's what the logo looks like, so you guys can be on the lookout for that. Here's where the drawstrings were supposed to be. It was a women's size medium. I would say that Ibex is still a Bolo brand. Be on the lookout. Next up are these Carhartt men's boots. My husband gave these to me for free from someone at his work. And they were missing laces, and they still sold for $40 really fast. They were in a size 9, waterproof 6-inch composite or steel toe pair of work boots. So that was a nice sale off of a free item. I sold this Eileen Fisher cardigan sweater for only $11. I've had this one for a long time. It wasn't a size large. It was tan and white striped. It was a linen cotton blend. But I feel like this like waterfall style is not as popular anymore, at least for certain like age demographics. I'm almost done with this. I just started adding in creatine to my protein. I use like a whey and collagen protein, creatine, and I'm trying to take this hair complex with biotin since my hair's been falling out since I've been getting old. Oh, it's so bad. I'm like, please. Okay, next up is a Bowden dress. This sold for $18. It wasn't a size 14. It was a printed, it was the style LOD. I could not find a stock photo, which kind of sucked because I feel like it would have looked better. Just some not really great sales. But I was like, I have to take these offers because it's just, otherwise I'm making no money. This was the brand Angie. This was a dress in a size medium. I felt like it was very Y2K 90s. Oh, Ellie's looking at me. She wants to go outside. You guys want to see Ellie? Ellie, say hi to everybody. You haven't been on the videos for so long. You haven't been on for so long. Do you want to go outside? Okay, let's let her outside. Okay. Anyway, the Angie dress. It was really cute. Sold for $20. This kind of is like a boutique brand, so I don't think this was really, I just like felt like it was Y2K 90s style. Next up, a pair of Zara jeans for $20. It's like lots of just like $15 to $20 sales. These were in a size 4. They were a high-rise wide leg, distressed knee. Maybe if they didn't have the distressed knee, they could have sold for more since they were a wide leg, which is a good popular style. Next up is this men's Ariat shirt that sold for $18 in an offer. This was called the Thomas shirt. It had small diamond prints. This is a good cowboy Western brand to be on the lookout for. Okay, I think I'm done. Next, packed leggings sold for $25. These were a pair of size large gray organic cotton leggings. They were new with tags, and I accepted an offer of $25. I sold this Allie Miles top for $22, which I think actually you guys might have seen on a video recently when that happened. White with black detail, artsy, per usual, Allie Miles 2X. Next up was the brand Billy Reed. This sold for $25. This was a men's shirt that I got at a garage sale. I decided to list it myself. Sometimes if I'm lower on inventory, I will list some of the men's items, but I do give a lot of it to my brother. This was organic cotton. It was a baseball raglan style shirt, so a nice quick sale there. Next up was the brand Title 9. These pants sold for $35, so yay, something over $20. These were a pair of women's hiking pants. So I ended up just using all of my different keywords instead of the actual style name for these pants because I don't feel like people are going to be looking up these pants by the actual style name. And if I wanted to find it, I could have found it right there on that TN with the numbers after it, but I'm putting in words that I feel like people are going to search. Next up is a Harley Davidson tank top. I got this for $1 at a garage sale. It was a one shoulder top, so interesting style. It had the Harley Davidson spell out. Biker, Omaha, Fremont, Nebraska, so that is local to me. I sold this Grayson polo, but I can't find it, so I may have to cancel that sale. I'm such a great reseller, guys, aren't I? There's always something. This is a Gap shirt, and I never pick up Gap, but I got this because it was that pink, crinkly gauze type look, and that is very popular in the spring and summer, and it even says crinkle gauze, and I sold it for $20, so I'm really happy to sell a Gap shirt because that's not a brand typically that people ever talk about. Next up is a pair of Spanx. These sold for $24. They were a pair of black jean material. They were in a size medium. But since they were a cropped flare, that's why I decided to get them, even in a smaller size. These are a pair of New Balance shoes that I sold for $20. I got these at a garage sale. They were a women's size 9. They had some animal print detail up in the back. New Balance is still pretty trendy. Certain styles do better than others. I sold this Vineyard Vines sweatshirt. This was a men's size small with a lobster. When I showed it in my haul, I thought it was women's. Looked it up. Turns out it was men's. Really cool style. Sold for $22. Next up was an Eileen Fisher dress. I accepted an offer of $25 in this, even though I could have got more. But I had to make some type of money. This was an orange Tencel lyocell dress. It was a midi length and in a size large. Next up, this Lily Pulitzer tank top sold extremely quickly. This sold for $28. Comps on this were not good. I don't know why, I guess. It was new with tags. I listed it at $35. They offered $28. I just took it. Or maybe my PrimeLister sent out the offer of $28. Which I am going to talk about here before eBay really quick. But either way, that was a great sale. It sold for more than most other people sold it for, which was kind of shocking. Next up are a pair of Prana pants. So Ellie is already trying to come back in. Okay, I'm letting her stay outside for a little bit. These were a size 12, and I just listed another pair, so I hope these ones sell just as quickly. These are called the Hallie pant. They're a mid-rise straight. They are convertible, so you can snap them up there to make them into shorts. And Prana still does okay for me in the hiking season. I sold these Crocs sandals for $24. This is a size 8, and these are the Sanra style. The Sanra style does well for me. It differs of what the embellishment or whatever is in this top part, but it's usually some sort of circle type detail on the top part of your foot. Anyway, this exact style, the Sanra style, sells good. People talk about do you have to really clean up your items? I mean, this was leftover Goodwill tags, and this wasn't even from the stickers that I took off. This was underneath the stickers that I took off, and I didn't want to do it, and it didn't matter. They still sold in a week. Next up is the brand 2XU. These are a pair of leggings that sold for $25. I like selling this brand. I don't find it very often, but when I do, I usually always pick it up. Kind of a compression athletic type leggings. And then two more sales. XCVI Praise, a $40 sale. It's my highest one yet, which is great. Size large, midi, gauzy cotton dress, sold for $40. So I like selling XCVI in certain styles. This one just gave me very, very summer vibes. And then the last item was these pair of Nikes that sold for $32. These were a women's size 9. They were the Futura, I don't know, shoes. They had pretty decent, they were Air Maxes, pretty decent sold comps. But as you can see with my red fingernails, that means I've had them since December. So we are glad to use those. To move those. Let me talk about PrimeLister really quick. What I use this for my automation for eBay and for Poshmark. So you guys can check down below in my description. You can get a link to save a certain percentage amount on your first month if you want to try it out. It has tons of different automations that you can do. It saves you tons of time and helps you make more money because you don't have to be on your phone as much. So this is showing me what I've already done for today. It's already shared 2,000 items. It's returned followed people. It's sent out 28 offers to likers, which this is great because on a day like today when I'm just like racing around trying to get a ton of stuff done, I don't want to be on my phone. I don't want to be constantly checking because I like offers and I think that offers need to be sent out within a few minutes of somebody liking an item. I don't want to be constantly on my phone doing that. I have better things to do with my time. So lots of different things, and you can just change them in here of kind of what you want to do. And then same with eBay. It is a separate feature for eBay. So you can do recreates, which is like relists, and then offers to watchers. So far it's sent out 13 on eBay, 10 relists. So go ahead and check that down below in the description. Let me know how you like it. I would not run my business without it. Let's go on to eBay. Let's see what we did in eBay, and let's see who's texting me. It's my brother and my daughter, and somebody made a counter offer. Okay, we have a pair of Converse men's shoes. I got these at a garage sale for $3. I listed them for $30. They offered $20. I'm taking it because, like I said, my sales have been absolute trash. And let me see what my daughter texted me. It's a screenshot of, I've been getting texts from the doctor that I went to immediate care and saying I owe them money. Okay, we'll deal with that later. Okay, No Bull shoes. These sold for $27. These are a pair of women's, size 6.5. I put in weightlifting because I feel like I've seen that before, that they're like a flat type of shoe. Because when you actually do like weightlifting and like, especially like leg exercises and stuff, they do recommend that you have like a really flat shoe or like even barefoot, not like those really huge Hokas or, the ones that are like super curvy and like puffy. So anyway, I like selling Noble. Those sold within a few weeks. Next up was a Ming Wang cardigan. This sold for $33.30 with a 15% off coupon. It was in a size large. I've had this since December because there's my red worn off nails. I sold this Talbot's tank top for $30 with a 15% off coupon. This was new with tags. My favorite part about this tank top is this little bug. It looked like a little beetle up in the top in the chest, and I felt like that was so cool. New with tag size 24W, so a plus size in Talbot's does better for me. I sold these men's Levi's shorts for $13.89. I got these for Grace to try on because she wanted to have some jorts, and then I stopped buying them for her because almost every pair did not fit her right. I'm like, you can go to the thrift store by yourself or with me and try them on, and because they're not selling for that much for me. Next up is the brand Ines Crafts. This sold for $32 with a coupon. This is a good brand. Anytime you see wool made in Ireland, I would look it up. Most of the time, it's going to be worth it for you to pick up. This sold, right now it's extremely hot and it's still sold. It sold for $32 with a coupon. Next up were a pair of Tory Burch shoes. These are in a size 10. They sold for $35. Tan leather. The logo is really tiny there in the bow, so if the logo was bigger, I probably could have got a little bit more money. I sold these UFOs for $28. These were a size 6.5 black athletic shoes. I really like selling UFOs. That's what the logo looks like right there. So be on the lookout for those for shoes and for sandals. This was a Banana Republic blazer that sold for $30. This was actually a men's blazer, which I hardly ever pick up. But it was a linen blend, so that's why I decided to try it out. So a nice quick sale there. Next up was this Michael Kors purse, sold for $25, which I'm glad because I did have a viewer say she was interested, but then she ended up changing her mind. But what was funny about this purse is first, they sent me a really low offer. I think I had it listed for $35. I don't sell Michael Kors or Kate Spade. Like, they don't go for that much. I feel like they sit for me forever unless it happens to be some like really special one. So anyway, I got this for I think $7 or $8. But they sent me a really low offer. I declined it because it was really bad. And then they came back with $25 and $35. But they wrote a message and said, please, I'm begging on my hands and knees to accept this offer. I'm like, okay, calm down. It's not that serious. I accepted it anyway. This is a great brand. This sold for $35.99, my full asking price. They did not use a coupon, so maybe they didn't see that. This was a Damee, Damee. I got this at a garage sale. This is, I think, an artsy lag and look type brand. I just discovered it recently, but when I've had it, it's done really well. So this was a polka dot, like, turtleneck type sweater. Next up was a Talbot sweater that sold for $10. This was a 1X pure merino wool animal print sweater. I've had this for a while, so I'm glad to see it move. Next up was a vintage Disney store sweatshirt that sold for $20. This had Grumpy from Snow White on here, and it was in a size extra large. Did I already say that? I found a cool vintage Disney shirt yesterday at the thrift store. I'm going to be showing it to you guys in a haul coming up, but it's like a Disney shirt, but it has Nebraska on it. And I was like, what? So I'm like, okay, I have to keep that. Next up is a Caroline Rose jacket, sold for $28. This is in a size extra large. This brand tends to do better for me in the larger sizes. Kind of seems like a lag and look type brand, like oversized, artsy layering. Next up is a pair of Masuk pants. These sold for $34 with a coupon. These were in a size 2X, and they were a black pull-on, like wide leg type of pant. So also I feel like that is a newer type Masuk tag. Next is the brand John Mark. I love selling John Mark. Sold for $26.99. Blue relaxed tunic top, oversized, artsy type look, really cool buttons. I sold these Everlane pants for $29.99 with a 15% off coupon. The last 2 times I've sold Everlane pants, they've sold in a week or less. I don't know what's going on with that. I feel like the jeans are more oversaturated, so maybe the pants with certain styles can still do okay. These were like a career type pant, so I was happy with that. A pair of Judy Blue shorts sold for $20. These were in a size extra large. Blue denim cutoff shorts, they sold extremely quickly. Another Judy Blue sale, these ones sold for $22. These were a pair of capris, and they were in a plus size 22. I sold these Vionic sandals for $24.99 with a 15% off coupon. These ones were in a size 9. They were the Karina. Usually Vionic will say, you can see right here, the style name on it on the top of that size tag. So super easy to find out about that. Next up was a Land's End swimsuit. And I have to remember we're stopping at the 13th. This sold for $27. This was a size 10. And it was a blue color block one-piece swimsuit. I sold this Ralph Lauren dress for $50. Yay, I think that's my, oh wait, actually I think the next sale is my biggest sale. This was last Friday. New with tags, orange equestrian I wrote because I felt like it gave off equestrian vibes. And I did put old money. That is a keyword that's kind of trending. I'm trying to figure out how to use it. So, but I feel like the equestrian gives like rich type of vibes. At least that's my thoughts. Next up is the brand Aquazura. These are a pair of heels. This sold for $67.50, which I'm very excited about. I got these for $3 at a local Goodwill. I found these at the same time that I got those Brunello Cucinelli sandals. They have this really interesting big puff detail in the toe. When I've had this before, it has sat forever. So these ones sold really fast. Maybe it was the design. Maybe I just got lucky. I don't know. And that's it, guys. That's it for my sales that I've had so far. So I'll probably do like a catch-up video when I get back to talk about sales I've had. I don't know if I mentioned it in one of my past videos, but Ryan really hates shipping. So Grace is going to come over on Wednesday and Sunday. So I'm just going to change my handling time on eBay to like 3 to 4 days. So she's going to ship for me a couple times while I'm gone, which I'm thankful for. So I'm going to leave that open. Everything's going to be open. So, and I have, I think, let me see how many drafts I have right now. I do have a bunch of things in a haul that I'm hoping to photograph today. And then I probably will just create those drafts while I'm on my road trip or vacation. That way I can have that. Okay, I have 131 drafts. So once I get the new ones drafted, I'm going to figure out how many days I'm going to be gone. I'm going to divide it by that. That way I can still put out a good amount of listings every day. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get my 18, what I've been doing. I'm hoping for at least 14 to 15 a day. So that's my plan. Let me know if you guys keep your stores open or how you run your business when you're on vacation. I like to keep it open as much as I can because it sucks when you turn it off. It's hard to get it back going. So that being said, I'm going to go film some more videos. So I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for the support. Give this video a thumbs up and a comment on your way out if you haven't yet. Help me get to 7K subscribes. subscribers. If you want to share this in your story, I would be very grateful. So I'll see you guys soon. Bye.